Hi LEGO fans! And if you're not the kind of person who usually builds LEGO, then hi Manchester United fans! Join me as today we set foot on hallowed ground inside the Theatre of Dreams. I'm going to be unboxing, speed building, and reviewing set number 10272 Old Trafford, Manchester United from LEGO Creator Expert. It might not be a great year for Manchester United supporters, but it is a great year for adult fans of LEGO. This epic 3,898 piece LEGO set recreates the home of Manchester United since 1910, Old Trafford. Just like a visit to the stadium itself, this LEGO set don't come cheap. Building Old Trafford out of LEGO is going to set you back about £250 or $300 US. I did look up Manchester United in Europe, but I couldn't find them for some reason. I'm kidding, you can buy this in Europe and it's €270. Thankfully, if you bought this really early, LEGO sweetened the deal. As well as a detailed review of Old Trafford, I'm also going to be taking a look at the 6322642 free gift with purchase. This is no longer available and is selling for $60 to $80 on eBay. This 37-piece set recreates a statue that stands outside of Old Trafford. It celebrates three of the most legendary players ever to play for Manchester United: George Best, Denis and Sir Bobby Charlton. I'll be unboxing and reviewing that set later in the video, but if you're feeling impatient, do check out the video description for the quick links. Both the price tag and the near 4,000 piece part count means this is squarely aimed at adult fans of LEGO. The 16 plus recommended age range and the expert badge are well deserved. You won't miss a second of the action, as I'm going to roll up the entire build process into a 2-minute speed build. Becoming the world's most valuable football team doesn't come cheap, and Manchester United protect their IP aggressively. And in case there was any doubt, there's an official looking hologram on the side of the box. Also on the side of the box we have a cross section of Old Trafford, and an actual size version of the United Trilogy statue which is included in the build. Turning our attention to the back of the box, we get a closer look at the interior of Old Trafford, and confirmation of those impressive dimensions. Like the real stadium, the LEGO model is a little bit more compact than you might imagine. It's 18.5 inches or 47 centimeters long, and 15 inches or 39 centimeters wide. The build also seems to be somewhat modular, which is really going to help when moving this around. Old Trafford stands about 6.5 inches or 17 centimeters tall. Iconic features include the large glass windows of the Manchester United megastore, and a timeless tribute to those who died on the 6th of February 1958 in the Munich air disaster. It's been a few years since I attended a game, but I think this is the exterior to the Sir Alex Ferguson stand, and it looks like we might have a microfigure statue of the great man. In the middle of the stadium we do of course have the football pitch, or the soccer field for my American friends. And outside the stadium we have a micro-scale coach build, presumably for the away supporters. This is a truly epic set and I can't wait to get building. But before we do, let's open up the box and see what we've got inside. Look at me, I feel like a Millwall supporter. Here's everything that came inside the box. Man, that's a lot of LEGO. We have 27 bags of LEGO numbered for stages 1 through 21. There's also a 367 page instruction booklet which includes facts and photographs about Old Trafford, an absolutely ridiculously large sticker sheet, and a printed pair of base plates marking out the penalty boxes at either side of the pitch. I'm going to go ahead and build set number 10272, Old Trafford, Manchester United, and today this is going to be a 2-minute speed build. And here is the completed 10272 Old Trafford Manchester United from LEGO Creator Expert. Build time today was 6 hours and 10 minutes, and whilst it was interesting, it was also quite repetitive at stages. If you enjoy applying stickers to LEGO sets, you're gonna love this. There are a lot of stickers to apply, certainly way more than the average LEGO set. It's pretty much like the real Old Trafford, it's very compact and not nearly as big as you think it's going to be. This is a 1/600th scale model of the actual stadium, but when it comes to scale I prefer to measure things in the context of a minifigure, in this case shiny Darth. Compared to the Sir Bobby Charlton stand, Darth Vader stands nearly half as tall, although to be fair I'm sure Sir Bobby Charlton is more popular than Darth Vader. Notwithstanding the $300 price tag and wanting to get a lot of bang for my buck, it's actually quite a relief that this is a fairly compact size. I thought this would be crazy big and I'd never be able to find anywhere to put it. A couple of friends who are Liverpool fans definitely told me where I could put it. Just like Manchester United's defence, it's very easy to take apart. The set breaks into 3 pieces, which makes it very easy to move around and also easy to check out the interior features. One of the least satisfying parts of the build is the actual football pitch. I thought this would be an elaborate mosaic of LEGO tiles. In reality, this is mostly constructed of printed LEGO plates. Well, I guess it could be worse, they could be stickers, I mean everything else is. The penalty boxes and all the lines on the pitch are also printed, but we do have some really nice goalpost elements. These are really unusual and I don't think I've seen anything quite like this before. It's almost like a 1x2, but it's open up at the back there, and then printed on top of the transparent clear plastic we have the goal netting. I won't use the words illegal building technique because I don't believe such a thing exists with LEGO, but it's certainly very unusual for an element to be placed on its side wedged between studs. Quality control of manufacturing on these base plates is a bit of a concern. You might be able to see a couple of areas where the white lines have not been printed properly. Maybe Diego Maradona paid a visit to Old Trafford recently. He knows a lot about making white lines disappear. Getting back on track, let's start our tour of the stadium with the Sir Bobby Charlton stand. It's easy to recognise because it's the lowest in terms of height, and there's a big sticker on the outside that says Sir Bobby Charlton stand. This is very familiar to me as it's where I've watched most of my games that I've seen at Manchester United. One particularly poignant feature on the outside is this clock. Just don't use it to set your watch by. This marks the time of the Munich air disaster on the 6th of February 1958. British European Airways Flight 609 crashed on its 3rd attempt to take off from a slush-covered runway at Munich Riem Airport. On the plane was the Manchester United football team, nicknamed the Busby Babes after Sir Matt Busby. 23 of the 44 souls on board lost their lives on that day, including a big chunk of Manchester United's football team. In fact, it took 10 years to rebuild the team before they won the European Cup in 1968 with a new generation of Busby Babes. Access to seating is via this tunnel. Inside here you'll also find elevators leading to executive suites. They're not nearly as impressive as they sound, but it's nice to get an invite. The architecture of this stand is not nearly as impressive as the others at Old Trafford, but it does have a nice big roof to keep the rain out of your beer. Or it would if you were allowed to drink at British soccer games. That's one thing the Americans have certainly gotten right. There are 12 simple roof trusses and transparent panels to let in some light. It's said that some of these roofs are quite old and starting to leak, which has caused fans to heap criticism on the Glazer brothers who own the club. Those guys are really not very popular. One of the exterior features I really like on this build is the addition of the bus. This will likely be for away supporters who are kept strictly segregated from the home crowd. Soccer matches in Great Britain are not necessarily friendly affairs. If you've never been to Old Trafford, you'll probably find this view of the Sir Bobby Charlton stand a little bit more familiar. This is more like what you see on TV. In the centre you'll see the team dugouts and the area where Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is usually pacing looking pensive. These are decorated with 1x2 stickers showing the Manchester United Red Devil crest. Where we usually see advertising, it's been replaced with some self-promotion for the club's website, manunited.com. Over in the far corner you'll find the familiar red tunnel. This is how the teams make their way from the dressing rooms onto the football pitch. A sticker along the roofline confirms that this is indeed the Sir Bobby Charlton stand, and 2 other stickers show electronic scoreboards which have the current score. I tried to figure out whether this means something, and I'm sure I'm missing something obvious here. But the scoreline is Manchester United 3-0 at 6 minutes and 12 seconds. If you know what that means, please do let me know in the comments. The roof of the stand can be removed, which is really useful for filming. In this case I wanted to show you the seats, which are all 1x2 grooved bricks. By the time you've built this set you'll be absolutely sick of these. There are a total of 345 of this exact element in the set. The corners in contrast only use one of those elements, but I do like the way these have been constructed to neatly fill each of the gaps. Anybody familiar with Old Trafford will recognise this vista. We're looking down the pitch towards the Stretford End. We know it's the Stretford End because it says so on the seats. Or at least I think it says Stretford because LEGO have messed up all of the stickering. Here's what the real Stretford End looks like. And here's a jacked up ham-fisted effort from LEGO. I mean, for starters, the E and the T should not be joined up, and the spacing on the Str is completely different to the spacing on the Ford. I honestly thought I might have messed up the stickering, but this is exactly as LEGO intended it to be. Notwithstanding, this is most definitely recognisable as the noisy end of Old Trafford. Before the introduction of all-seater stadia following the Hillsborough disaster in 1989, the Stretford End, previously the West Stand, used to have space for 20,000 people to watch the game on foot. The terraces were demolished after the 1992 season and replaced with the £10 million all-seater cantilever stand you see today. The stand's identity is confirmed somewhat cheaply with a sticker, and although the stickering on the LEGO Stretford End is a travesty, when you refer to the real thing we have white seats dotted in amongst red seats spelling out the name. In real life it's actually quite impressive. We also have another fitting memorial to those killed in the Munich air disaster celebrating the Flowers of Manchester. The cantilever roof, which matches that of the East Stand, is certainly impressive. As impressive as it may be, it was very fiddly to put together. There's a clear plastic roof and then some very impressive support structures. These curl around over the back of the stand and hold the roof rigidly in place. To help fans find the right stand, we have stickering on the side confirming this is indeed the Stretford End. Around the back of the West Stand, aka the Stretford End, you can see more of those impressive support structures. To some extent this set is just like an oversized LEGO architecture model. Staying on the outside of Old Trafford, we have the fantastic Northwest Quadrant. This is one of the more impressive parts of Old Trafford and features the 100 Club. When it comes to watching a game at Old Trafford, there are seats and then there are seats. I really like the big glass facade with all of those trans blue bricks. What I didn't enjoy was putting together that roof structure. It was super fiddly and took a lot of finagling to make it look right. Tucked away beneath the roof of the Northwest Quadrant you'll find 2 tiers of seating, and I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of executive boxes here as well. The 20 Legend sticker refers to current manager and previous player Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Hopefully I pronounced that right. During his playing career he played 366 times for United and scored 126 goals. But his most legendary achievement was in 1999 during the UEFA Champions League final. He scored the winning goal in the last minute of the game against Bayern Munich after Manchester United had been trailing 1-0. This earned Manchester United the treble and for Ole a place in the hearts of Manchester United supporters forever. Moving around to the north side of Old Trafford we come to the Sir Alex Ferguson stand. This was previously known as the United Road stand and also the North stand. It was renamed on the 5th of November 2011 to honour Sir Alex Ferguson's more than 25 years as manager of the club. This time, thanks to the expanded width, LEGO had much more space to play with for the stickering. As you can see, they've made a pretty good job of spelling out Manchester United. The Sir Alex Ferguson stand has 3 tiers of seating and can accommodate 26,000 supporters. We also have more stickers celebrating Sir Alex's achievements at making the impossible dream possible. Manchester United really does care about their fans. The 2019-2020 season hasn't been very good, so Manchester United have set up a hotline for distraught fans. If you're overwhelmed by the lacklustre performance of Manchester United this year, simply dial 1800 10 10 10. That's 1800 10 10 10. Again, the roof structure is very impressive and it's very fiddly to put together, especially when you're trying to do it on camera. To give you some context into how big the Sir Alex Ferguson stand is, here it is directly compared to the Sir Bobby Charlton stand. Sorry Bobby, but Sir Alex definitely kicks your ass here. The exterior of the Sir Alex Ferguson stand certainly isn't as impressive. As you'd expect, we have some more stickering confirming what this is, and the club's name on the outside just in case any scousers get lost and turn up to the wrong place. Unveiled on the 23rd of November 2012, we also have a 9-foot statue of Sir Alex Ferguson outside. This was sculpted by Philip Jackson to recognise Sir Alex's status as the longest serving Manchester United manager. Clearly this version isn't 9 feet tall, but you get the picture. As well as being somewhere to enjoy the game and eat a prawn sandwich, this is home to the Manchester United Museum. It's quite expensive to visit the museum and do the stadium tour, but it does seem to get really good reviews. Moving around the corner, the exterior features of the northeast quadrant are pretty much identical to the northwest quadrant. It's impressive, but we don't need to look at this again. Before we head back inside, this is the exterior to the east stand. The large glass frontage here is for the Manchester United Megastore. This is where you can pick up reasonably priced official merchandise. No, I'm kidding, it's all hideously overpriced. But if you want the real deal from the real place, this is where to come. Keeping watch since 1996, you'll find a bronze statue of Sir Matt Busby. Sir Matt Busby managed Manchester United between 1945 and 1969, and then again for the second half of the 1970-71 season. He was the first manager of an English team to win the European Cup, and is generally regarded as one of the greatest managers of all time. Boasting Sir Matt Busby, Sir Alex Ferguson and Sir Bobby Charlton, Manchester United surely has more knights than the Round Table. Also standing watch outside the Theatre of Dreams, we have the United Trinity statue. This includes microfigure representations of George Best, Denis and Bobby Charlton, 3 of the most legendary players ever to play for Manchester United. We're going to come back to these guys in a couple of minutes and look at the full-size minifigure versions. But in the meantime, let's head back inside and finish our tour of Old Trafford. Here we have the northeast quadrant and the east stand, which are mirror images of the northwest quadrant and Stretford End. As this cutaway view demonstrates, the west and the east side of Old Trafford are pretty much the same thing. The main obvious differences here are down to the stickering. In the southeast quadrant we have a declaration that Old Trafford is the European capital of trophies. Maybe not this year guys, but I'm sure you'll bounce back soon. Here's the view of the east stand from the Stretford End. You're going to notice a pretty obvious advert for Adidas here. Adidas became the official kit or uniform sponsor for Manchester United in 2015 in a £750 million deal. £750 million is a lot of money, and that buys you a lot of exposure. As you can see, Adidas also have their name on the seats on the east stand. In the case of the LEGO set, these are stickers, but they've actually done a little bit better job here. And up in the stands we have a famous quote from Sir Matt Busby: "Manchester is my heaven." I wouldn't go that far, Sir Matt, but it is a cool place to hang out. So that was set number 10272, the epic Old Trafford Manchester United from LEGO Creator Expert. I'll wrap up and give you my final thoughts on this set in just a few minutes. But before I do, I think we have some special guests to welcome. So after that epic tour of Old Trafford, including the microscale version of the Trinity statue, I think it's time we took a look at its big brother. This is set number 6322642, and this was a free gift with purchase for VIPs buying the set in the first few days of release. This set is sure to appeal to LEGO collectors and also to Manchester United fans. Here we have minifigures representing George Best, Denis and Sir Bobby Charlton. Apart from the product photography on the front, the packaging is pretty boring. We just have the usual regulatory notices, statements of copyright, and a reminder not to feed LEGO to the under 3s. I think I've said everything I need to say about retail packaging, so let's open up this box and wipe away half of the resale value. The contents of the box are pretty much what you'd expect. We've got a 19-page instruction booklet, and a bag of parts inside a Ziploc bag, which confirms this has a very short production run. Let's go ahead and put this together, and then we can take a look at those legendary minifigures. And here is the completed 6322642 United Trinity statue. This is a brick-built recreation of the statue by West Sussex-based sculptor Philip Jackson. It stands opposite the one of Sir Matt Busby at the front of Old Trafford. These are changing hands for between $80 and $100 on eBay. That's selling price and not asking price. They are actually selling for that kind of money. The plinth is a pretty simple construction and uses 25 very common LEGO elements. Very common with the exception of the printed part at the front. As this set is so new and there's so few of them, nobody's broken these down yet, and you cannot buy this on Bricklink. The minifigures, on the other hand, can be recreated quite easily. All of these are standard minifigure parts with one exception. The jerseys with the player numbers are exclusive to this set and you cannot buy these. Everything else, including the faces and the hair, is readily available on Bricklink. I'm sure it won't take long for some enterprising person to start making reprints of the plaque and custom printing the numbers onto the back of red torsos. This is the real deal and features legendary Manchester United players George Best, Denis and Bobby Charlton. Bobby Charlton came from England, George Best came from Northern Ireland and Denis came from Scotland. So an Englishman, an Irishman and a Scotsman. I bet these guys couldn't go into a pub together. Speaking of the pub, that's where you'd often find George Best. Best lived a playboy lifestyle and became one of the first celebrity footballers. But his extravagant lifestyle led to various personal problems with women and most notably alcohol. Best once summed up his career by saying he spent a lot of money on booze, birds and fast cars. The rest he just squandered. Financial and health problems continued into George's retirement. He sadly died in 2005, aged just 59, from complications after a liver transplant. The face and the hair captures George Best beautifully. If the expression looks familiar, you'll find it in about another 52 LEGO sets. Similarly, the hairstyle is also a very generic LEGO element. If you want to create your own George Best, you're not going to find it too difficult. The number 7 shirt has been passed on to many Manchester United legends such as David Beckham and Cristiano Ronaldo, but let's not mention Michael Owen. Regarded as one of the greatest football players of all time, Best was also awarded European Player of the Year in 1968, and he was capped 37 times for Northern Ireland between 1964 and 1977. Next we have Scotsman Denis CBE, who played as a forward. He joined Manchester United in 1962, setting a British record transfer fee of £115,000. If Denis looks familiar and a little bit on the young side, you'd be right. This freckled minifigure face is usually used on child minifigures. You can find it in about 10 different sets. The receding hairline complete with widow's peak and sideburns is also a common element. Of the 3 minifigures, this is the only one with a secondary expression, and you can see why LEGO didn't use that. The number 10 shirt is reserved for forwards, and Manchester United issue this number infrequently. David Beckham did wear it for one season before moving up to number 7, allowing Teddy Sheringham to inherit the shirt. It was also worn by Ruud van Nistelrooy, and most recently by Marcus Rashford. Law spent 11 years at Manchester United, scoring 237 goals in 404 appearances. His goal tally places him 3rd in club history behind Wayne Rooney and Sir Bobby Charlton. Sir Robert Charlton OBE generally played as a midfielder and is regarded as one of the greatest players of all time. He was a member of the England team that won the 1966 FIFA World Cup. That makes him an absolute legend. Here we have a younger Bobby Charlton before his hair started to thin and he adopted the famous comb over. Bobby remains a Manchester United fan and is often seen in the crowd at Old Trafford. Whilst Sir Bobby Charlton was probably the most famous player to wear the number 9 shirt, other players to wear number 9 include Brian McClare, Louis Saha and Dimitar Berbatov. This really is such a cool free gift with purchase, and it's a shame that this was so very limited. Thankfully the parts you need to recreate this are really easy to come by, so long as you don't want the plaque on the front and the numbers on the back of the shirts. I'm sure you can find a copy of the instructions online, and because I really like you, here's a quick look at all of the parts that you need. I'm super stoked to get this. I'm going to disassemble it, put it back in the box and keep it forever. So that was set number 10272, Old Trafford, Manchester United, and 6322642, the United Trinity statue. The statue is an awesome thing, and if you were lucky enough to get one of these, I would definitely hang on to it. For the $300 price tag, Old Trafford was a little bit smaller than I anticipated. But in retrospect, the size is perfect. It's big enough to have lots of detail, but small enough to be practical to display. I also really like the way it comes apart to make it easy to move around. The low point for me, especially considering the $300 price tag, was the size of the sticker sheet. I'm not a big fan of applying stickers at the best of times, and this was a doozy. I also take issue with some of the quality control in this set. The stickering for the Stretford End was appalling, and it was kind of annoying to find the printing defects on the football pitch. In terms of accurately recreating Old Trafford, I think LEGO did a really good job here. It's definitely a niche product, and if you don't like Manchester United, then this probably isn't the set for you. But it is an accomplished LEGO build, and now I just need to find some way of integrating it into LEGO City. I really hope you enjoyed this LEGO Creator Expert Old Trafford Manchester United unboxing, speed build and review video. If you did, a thumbs up is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome LEGO content. As always, please feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below, and I promise to respond to as many as I can personally. Thanks a million for checking out today's review, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next build video.